I'm going to play you a clip showing a Labour MP, Rachel Reeves. She's out and about canvassing when she's accosted by a hijab-wearing woman who asks her for her position on Palestine. I'm Granny Opterix. So here's the video.
Obviously, we've been following you for a really long time.
All right, nice to meet you.
And we just really wanted to understand.
We are about to start doing
we're going to
okay.
Yeah, no, that's really good
Riyaz.
because we want to make sure that Riyaz and you do really well.
Yeah,
And it's really important to us that Labour wins this.
yeah, great.
It's been a long time waiting.
14 years. isn't it?
The only thing is that we're really concerned, Rachel. What's your current position in respect of...
First of all, I don't like the way she's calling her Rachel. That's Ms. Reeves. I would call her Miss Reeves, and so should this woman. I think that's a personal... my feeling is it's a personal attack on her. But yeah, that's just the way I feel about it.
What's happening in Gaza at the moment?
We should have this conversation separately. Rather
Well,
than
we've
both
tried to
trying
have
go
this
campaigning.
we've tried to have this conversation, and
Will
you've
it-
not been
should we-
available.
Should we
can
start
get
the
in touch.
campaign session so that
It
we
give you
doesn't.
one
It
of these.
doesn't work. We've tried, and it's not worked.
Are you in my constituency?
We've tried through the mosque.
This is the important, well, it is an important aspect. Ms. Reeves asks this person, are you a member of my constituency? Now, the way this works in England, in Britain, is that your constituency MP deals with your problems. If you're in another constituency, you have to refer to your own constituency MP. So this woman has no right to ask this MP that question in that way, at that particular time. In a public meeting, yes, that's a different matter. But here she is specifically going round the members of her constituency, and she cannot answer questions for another MP. But this woman doesn't know that. Or, yeah, I rather suspect she doesn't know that. And what's more, she wouldn't care. Because it's quite obvious that her mindset is not sympathetic to the type of democratic government we have here in this country. This is like, I mean, the analogy is this. You have your GP, your doctor, and that's your doctor. If you have something wrong with you, you go to your doctor. If you don't like what your doctor says, you can request a second opinion. But you can't just walk up to a random doctor in the street and say, look, a doctor here has this opinion, I have another opinion, what do you think? A doctor would never answer that question. Well, that's the same thing that's going on with this. I mean, there are other reasons as well. I'll get to that in a minute, but let's just go back to that.
Well, we've tried to have this conversation.
This is a personal attack and a highly anti-democratic one that doesn't understand democracy.
Are you in my constituency?
We've tried through the mosques.
Are you
Arshad
let me
Khatani's
just
been in
ask a
touch.
question. Are you? Oh, well, I've seen Arshad recently.
Yeah.
Are you in my constituency?
I'm not, but I'm a
Oh,
part.
right,
I'm a
okay.
part.
You
of,
are,
I'm
right?
a, I'm a
That's
Muslim
probably
and I
why.
live in the UK
Yeah.
and I pay my taxes.
fine.
You're right. So that's the way this woman regards the thing. I'm not a member of your constituency. I am a Muslim. That is, I am a member of the Muslim constituency. And that goes all the way further than any ordinary secular consistency. Constituency. I do apologise.
The office does speak to a wide range of constituents every week, and if you are the constituent,
Yeah,
and
in
get
fact,
in touch,
I
we do
was in
respond
touch
to every
with
single constituent.
Arshad Khatana last night.
Is there a reason why you can't answer the
Because
question?
I have a
We're
huge
going
number of
to-
people contact me, and my surgeries are for constituents.
So does
and
that mean
their
that every
issues.
time a different person contacts you, you have a different answer?
No.
Because we just
Sorry.
simply want one
Sorry.
answer.
No, that's selling up.
Sorry.
That's probably true. Yes, probably she does have a different answer, or at least a sliding scale of answers. But this woman is there simply to harass. She is not there to actually get an answer.
That's selling
Sorry,
up.
we're going to go and dawn.
They're only simple questions.
We've got to speak to people in the constituency.
Rachel, no, that's fine. So we'll stay with you and we'll ask.
And this is where they really step over the line. You might have said before they don't understand the workings of constituency democracy. But here, this is harassment. And they have obviously been sent there, women, you know, so any physical contact with them, any pushing away or anything, there'd be photographs all over the internet, wouldn't they?
They're having to eat grain. Is that correct, Rachel?
Rachel, please, can you just answer the question whilst you're walking? You voted against the ceasefire on the 15th of November, Rachel. What is your position regarding the ceasefire now? Has your stance changed?
I would just like to point that Israel has been providing water to the people in Gaza ever since they destroyed their own, well, from before and during the time they destroyed their own water table by digging all those tunnels underground. There was a pretty good water table there. It's now completely polluted. Just saying.
I've got a daughter. I've got a 19-year-old daughter. I couldn't imagine burying her, Rachel. Tell me how you'd feel. Rachel, please, tell us how you'd feel. It's really important, Rachel. We need to know. We need to know what's going on.
Right,
How
so
do you feel?
you can see what's going on there. Apparently, I didn't know, but Rachel Reeves voted against a ceasefire. So it means that she is of the opinion, or has been instructed to be of the opinion, that Israel has a right to defend itself. Something that I make no bones about agreeing with. And so they are there specifically to get at her. They weren't asking a question earlier on, what's your position about Palestine? They knew what the answer was going to be, or what the answer was going to be avoided. And they aren't members of her constituency. They were just sent there to harass her.
Answer the question whilst you're walking. You voted against the ceasefire on the 15th of November, Rachel. What is your position regarding the ceasefire now?
And I really don't like the way they keep referring to her first name in that way. I think it's starting to sound very aggressive.
Just answer the question. How could you live without water, Rachel? Have you had a glass of water today? Them children haven't had a glass of water. The children are digging holes for water, Rachel. It's just so sad, Rachel. How would you like to dig your children out of under rubble? Have you got children, Rachel? I've got a daughter. I've got a 19-year-old daughter. I couldn't imagine burying her, Rachel.
Oh, I don't know. I think you could probably imagine burying her if she happened to be caught talking to a non-Muslim on the street outside your house. Yeah, that's happened quite a lot of times, burying daughters who've stepped over the line somewhere. You can also imagine mutilating your daughter's genitalia. So many Muslims in this country do that, and they seem to imagine that very well. I'm not talking about this particular person. She seems to stand for the rest of Muslims, so she has to take that criticism.
Tell me how you'd feel. Rachel, please, tell us how you'd feel. It's really important, Rachel. We need to know. We need to know what's going on. How do you feel? Why did you not vote for a ceasefire? Rachel, where are you going? Rachel, Israel.
I think this woman sounds deranged, but I do think she's been loosed on Miss Reeves by other people. It's usually women that get these sort of jobs, isn't it?
We want to talk in a civilized conversation.
And children, of course.
Rachel, why wouldn't you talk? Rachel, just answer the questions.
We're not talking about Palestinians, are we? We're talking about Hamas. She is supporting Hamas. Hamas could get shot of this whole thing. That's an unfortunate expression, isn't it? Hamas could solve the entire problem by giving up the hostages.
Why, Rachel? Why are Palestinians
Instantly,
lesser people?
everything would grind
Where
to
you
a halt.
going, Rachel? Don't leave, Rachel. Talk to us. We want to talk in a civilised conversation, Rachel.
That's not a civilised conversation.
Rachel, why wouldn't you talk? Rachel, just answer the questions.
Okay. Right. No Labour politician would, especially in public, answer the questions, especially in public, because they're so worried about the Muslim vote. But they prefer to hide their more sensible ideas for fear of alienating, well, not just the madder elements, but the majority of the Muslim constituency, the sort of people as embodied by that woman who says, no, I'm not a member of your constituency, but I'm a Muslim, and that answers the entire question. It's Pakistani politics, of course. Just look at the state of the countries to which people like that woman appear to show their, well, not allegiance, but cultural assumptions. Yeah, that's better. And I'm not talking only about the anti-Semitism of the Muslim community generally. I'm talking about the mob politics and the tribal habits. Yeah, but back to Miss Reeves. Instead of saying, I think that Israel has a right to self-defense, and possibly also saying, why don't you ask Hamas why they're prolonging the fight by refusing to turn over the hostages, which I would consider a rational answer, whether or not anyone watching this video agrees to it or not. It's a rational answer. But no, as a politician, it's her job to play both ends against the middle, and coming down on one side or the other in such a public arena is far too straightforward. And instead of answering and engaging in any sort of dialogue, which, as I say, she probably is not supposed to be doing anyway, well, she just ran. I have to concede the possibility of engaging in any sort of rational dialogue with that woman would have been just about as likely as her being rescued by a passing spacecraft. But that little incident encapsulates the trouble with modern politics. And I'm not just talking about Rachel Reeves or indeed the Labour Party. Most politicians just don't dare to tell you what they actually think. It's not all, some do. But I think the habit is worse with Labour politicians because their ideology is internally contradictory, which must make it difficult. A good example here, I'm just bringing in another example, would be women-only shortlists when they don't even have a political position on what a woman is. And in the case of Reeves, she's trying to square the circle of the Labour Party's official position on multi-ethnicity when they know that multi-ethnicity doesn't work in the sort of democracy we have developed here in Britain. So the only answer is to run away. The question is, where do you run to when this is the only country you have? All right, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share, share, share.